Now let's color the grid to check our answers. So I'm going to color 5 green rows. I will start by the green color, and I'm going to represent the 0.5 by 5 green rows. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, for the 9 columns that are represented by the number 0.9, I will choose the color yellow. So, I will color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Now, after we count the overlapping squares like that, what do we notice? We notice the sum is what? 45 squares. So the answer is 45 hundredths. Let's write it together. So the answer is 0.45. I'm sure that you got your answer correct. Now, how about after we answer using the arrays, we answer it using what? Using the rule that we just concluded together. So we're going to multiply 0.5 times 0.9. Now we will consider that we're multiplying the whole numbers. So normally, what is 9 times 5? 9 times 5, if I have 9 times 5, this is equal to 45. However, the product this time, because I have 10th times 10th, so we know from the rule multiplying 10th by 10th, the answer should be in hundredths. So what do? The final answer is going to be 0.45. Now, it's your turn to apply what we've learned today in today's lesson in the next activity in Connect. What is it called? Let's read it together. It's called writing about math. Now here, you're asked to assume that your friend was absent and missed today's math lesson. We want to explain why the product is in the hundredth place. When what? When multiplying 10th by 10th. I will give you time to think and explain about this, and we will discuss the answer when we get back. I will show you an explanation of one of my students. Now let's see how our friend explained why the product is in the hundredth when multiplying 10th by 10th.
I used a grid of decimal number and representing 0.4 by 0.6, and I draw 4 columns with red to represent 0.4, and I draw 6 rows with green to represent 0.6, and the product in all squares in 2 colors, green and red, in same time was 24 of 100.
We can practice more on what we learned today in practice and check your understanding that are found in the digital version of your P5 math textbook found on the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. You can access it as always by scanning the QR code found in here on the one at the beginning of the lesson. Let's take a look. Okay. I'm going to check the first question with you in this exercise. So, in this exercise, you're asked to multiply the two numbers 0.3 times 0.5. We will choose here from the answers shown. And the number of rows here, let's check. Now, the number of rows and columns that we will color in order to represent the problem. This is what you're going to choose. Then we will estimate the answer before answering. So the first choice is the what? The first factor or the first thing is the what here. I'm going to choose what? Let's check. Now the first choice is the number of rows. And we will color what? We will choose 3. So I'm going to start with 0.3 and I'm going to choose 3 rows. Now let's continue. The second choice over here is the number of columns that we will color. And since the second number is 0.5, this means I'm going to color 5 what? Columns. Finally, what do we have? When we estimate the product, we can consider them as whole numbers. So let's start multiplying. 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Which is which choice? Let's check. It's over here. Then, don't forget that the correct answer of this problem is the number of overlapping colored squares. The number of overcolored or overlapped colored squares is 15, which means what? 0.15, and this is the final answer.
تقدر تتابع كل دروسك على تطبيق مدرستنا بلس. مدرستنا، المستقبل يبدأ الآن.